Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gyananjana Sarakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tarati Svaparantikam. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथन्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृद्यन्दस्तो भद्राणि विदुनुति सुहृत्सतम् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भागवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Before reciting this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God, Narayana, unto Narayana, Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma, super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupada. Today we have short reading session. We read few verses because it's so late already. But I wanted to read a little bit.
I'll read, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhu.
No problem. Yeah, text 5. Okay. Rajovacha Samichinam Vacho Brahman Sarva Nyasya Tavanagha Tamo Vishe Mahyam Hare Kathayatah Katham. Synonyms. Raja Uvacha, the king said, Samichinam, perfectly right. Vachaha, speeches. Brahma, oh learned Brahmana. Sarva Nyasya, one who knows all. Tava, your. Anagha, without any contamination. Tamaha, the darkness of ignorance. Vishiryate, gradually disappearing. Mahyam, unto me. Hare of the Lord. Kathayatha, yatha, as you are speaking, Katham topics. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit said, O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears to be perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance. You are narrating the topics of the Lord. Purport. The practical experience of Maharaj Parikshit is disclosed herein, revealing that transcendent topics of the Lord act like injunctions when they are received by the sincere devotee from a person who is perfectly uncontaminated by material tinges. In other words, reception of the messages of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from professional men, led by a karma kandiya audience, never acts miraculously as it is stated here. Devotional hearing of the messages of the Lord is not like hearing ordinary topics. Therefore, the action will be felt by the sincere hearer by experience of the gradual disappearance of ignorance. Svetasvatra Upanishad 623 Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite kathita hyarthaha prakashante mahatmanah. When a hungry man is given food to eat, he feels satiated of hunger and the pleasure of dining simultaneously. Thus, he does not have to ask whether he has actually been fed or not. The crucial test of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is that one should get positive enlightenment by such an act. Text 36. Bhuya eva vivitsami bhagavan atma mayaya yethedham srijate vishvam durvibhavyam adhishvarahaihi. Synonyms: Bhuyaha, again, Eva, also Vivitsami. I wish to learn Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Atma, personal, Mayaya, by the energies, Yatha, as Idam, this phenomenal world, Srijate, does create Vishwam, universe, Durvi Bhavyam, inconceivable, Adhishwaraihi, by the great demigods. Translation: I beg to know from you how the personality of Godhead, by his personal energies, creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even by the great demigods. Purport: in every inquisitive mind, the important question of the creation of the phenomenal world arises, and therefore, for a personality like Maharaj Parikshit, who was to know all activities of the Lord from his spiritual master, such inquiry is not uncommon. For every unknown thing, we have to learn and inquire from a learned personality. The question of creation is also one of such inquiries to be made from the right person. The spiritual master, therefore, must be one who is Sarvagnya, as stated herein before in connection with Sukadeva Goswami. Thus, all inquiries on God which are unknown to the disciple may be made from the qualified spiritual master, and here the practical example is set by Maharaj Parikshit. It was, however, already known to Maharaj Parikshit that everything that we see is born out of the energy of the Lord, as we have all learnt in the very beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Janmadhyasya Yataha. So Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know the process of creation. The origin of creation was known to him. Otherwise, he would not have inquired how the personality of God by his different energies creates this phenomenal world. The common man also knows that the creation is made by some creator and is not created automatically. When we have no experience in the practical world that a thing is created automatically. Foolish people say that the creative energy is independent and acts automatically as electric energy works. But the intelligent man knows that even the electrical energy is generated by an expert engineer in the localized powerhouse, and thus the energy is distributed everywhere under the resident energy engineer's supervision. The Lord's supervision is in connection with creation is mentioned even in the Bhagavad Gita 9:10, and it is clearly said that the material energy is a manifestation of one of my such energies of the Supreme. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. An inexperienced boy may be struck with wonder by seeing the impersonal actions of electronics or many other wonderful things conducted by electrical energy. But an experienced man knows that there is a living man behind the action who creates such energy. Similarly, the so-called scholars and philosophers of the world may, by mental speculation, present so many utopian theories about the impersonal creation of the universe. But an intelligent devotee of the Lord, by studying the Bhagavad Gita, can know that behind the creation is the hand of the Supreme Lord, just as in the generating electrical powers there is the resident engineer. The research scholar finds out the cause and effect of everything, and the research scholars are great. Research scholars as great as Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and many other demigods are sometimes bewildered by seeing the wonderful creative energy of the Lord. So, what to speak of the tiny mundane scholars dealing in petty things? As there are differences in the living conditions of different planets of the universe, and as one planet is superior to others, similarly, the brains of the living entities in those respective planets are also of different categorical values. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, one can compare the long duration of life of the inhabitants of Brahma's planet, which is inconceivable to the inhabitants of this planet Earth, to the categorical value of the brain of Brahmaji, also inconceivable by any great scientist of this planet. And with such high brain power, even Brahmaji has described in his great Samhita, Brahma Samhita, as follows: Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadira Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Brahma Samhita 5.1. Brahmaji admits Lord Krishna to be the supreme cause of all causes, but persons with tiny brains within this petty planet Earth think of the Lord as one of them. Thus, when the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita that He, Lord Krishna, is all in all, the speculative philosophers and the mundane wranglers deride Him, and the Lord regretfully says, Avajadanti mam moda manashim tannum ashritam paramam bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Brahma and Shiva, and what to speak of other demigods, are bhutas or created powerful demigods that manage universal affairs, much like ministers who are appointed by the king. The ministers may be Ishwaras or controllers, but the Lord is Maheshwara, or the creator of the controllers. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge do not know this, and therefore they have the audacity to deride him because he comes before us by his causeless mercy occasionally as a human being. The Lord is not like the human being. He is Sachidananda Vigraha, or the absolute personality of Godhead, and there is no difference between his body and his soul. He is both the power and the powerful. Maharaj Parikshit did not ask his spiritual master Sukadeva Goswami to narrate Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavana, but he wanted to hear first about the creation of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami did not say that the king should hear about the direct transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The time was very short, and naturally Sukadeva Goswami could have gone directly to the 10th canto to make a shortcut of the whole thing, as it is generally done by the professional reciters. But neither the king nor the great speaker of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam jumped up like the example of the procedure of reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. No, sorry. Srimad jumped up like the organizers of Bhagavatam, but both of them proceeded systematically so that both future readers and hearers may take lessons from the example of the procedure of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are in control of the external energy of the Lord, or in other words, those who are in the material world, must first of all know how the external energy of the Lord is working under the direction of the Supreme Personality, and afterwards one may try to enter into the activities of his internal energy. The mundaners are mostly worshippers of Durga Devi, the external energy of Krishna, but they don't know that Durga Devi is but the shadow energy of the Lord. Behind her astonishing display of material workings, the direction of the Lord is there, as it is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9:10. The Brahma Samhita affirms that Durga Shakti is working by the direction of Govinda, and without his sanction, the powerful Durga Shakti cannot move even a blade of grass. Therefore, the neophyte devotee, instead of jumping at once on the platform of transcendental pastimes presented by the internal energy of the Lord, may know how great the Supreme Lord is by inquiring about the process of his creative energy. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, also descriptions of the creative energy and the Lord's hand in it are explained, and the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita has warned the neophyte devotees to be seriously on guard against the pitfall of neglecting the knowledge about Krishna as to how great he is. Only when one knows Lord Krishna's greatness can one firmly put one's unflinching faith in him. Otherwise, like the common man, Lord Krishna will be mistaken as one of the many demigods or a historical personality or a myth only even by the great leaders of men. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavan or even at Dwarka are relishable by persons who have already qualified themselves in advanced spiritual techniques, and the common man may be able to attain to such a plane by the gradual process of service and inquiries, as we shall see in the behavior of Maharaj Parikshit. Text 7. यथा गोपायति विभुर यथा संयच्छते पुनः यां यां शक्तिम् उपाश्रित्य पुरुशक्तिः परः पुमान् आत्मानं क्रीडयं क्रीडन् करोति विकरोति च. Synonyms: yatha, as, gopayati, maintains, vibhuhu, the great, yatha, as, samyachate, winds up, punaha, again, yam, as, shaktim, energies, upashritya, by employing, puru shaktihi, the all powerful, paraha, the supreme, puman, personality of Godhead, atmanam, plenary expansion, kredayan, having engaged them, kredan, as also personally being engaged, karoti, do them, vikaroti, and causes to be done, cha, and translation. Kindly describe how the Supreme Lord, who is all powerful, engages his different energies and different expansions in maintaining and again winding up the phenomenal world in the sporting spirit of a player. Purport: in the Kathopanishad, the Supreme Lord is described as the chief eternal being all amongst all other eternal individual beings, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, and the one Supreme Lord who maintains innumerable other individual living beings, Eko Bahunam Yo Vedadhati Kaman. So, all living entities, both in conditioned state and in liberated state, are maintained by the Almighty Supreme Lord. Such maintenance are affected by the Lord through his different expansions of self and three principal energies, namely the internal, external, and marginal energies. The living entities are his marginal energies, and some of them, in the confidence of the Lord, are entrusted with the work of creation also, as are Brahma, Marichi, etc., etc. And the acts of creation are inspired by the Lord unto them. Tene Brahma Hrida. The external energy Maya is also impregnated uh, with the jivas or conditioned souls. So the unconditioned marginal potency acts in the spiritual kingdom, and the Lord, by his different planetary expansions, maintains them in different transcendental relations displayed in the spiritual sky. So the one supreme personality of Godhead manifests himself in many Bahushyanam. Bahushyama, and thus all diversities are in him, and he is in all diversities, although he is nevertheless direct from all of them. That is the inconceivable mystic power of the Lord, and as such, everything is simultaneously one and different from him by his inconceivable potencies, achintya bheda bhedeya tattva. Text 8. नूनं भगवतो ब्रह्मन् हरेर् अद्भुत कर्मणः दुर्विभाव्यं इवा भाति कविभिश्चापि चेष्टितं synonyms to nunam still insufficient. Bhagavataha, of the personality of Godhead, Brahman, oh learned Brahmana, Hare, of the Lord, Adbhuta, wonderful, Karmanaha, one who acts, Dirvibhavyam, inconceivable, Iva, like that, Abhati appears, Kavibihi, even by the highly learned, Cha also appear in spite of, Cheshtitam, being endeavored for. Translated, O learned Brahmana, the transcendent activities of the Lord are all wonderful and they appear to be inconceivable because even great endeavors by many learned scholars have still proved to be insufficient. Purport. The acts of the Supreme Lord in the creation of just this one universe appear to be inconceivably wonderful, and there are innumerable universes, and all of them aggregated together are known as the created material world. And this part of this creation is only a fractional portion of the complete creation. The material world stands as a part only. Ekamshena Stito Jagat. Supposing that the material world is a display of one part of his energy, the remaining three parts consist of the Vaikuntha, Jagat or spiritual world described in the Bhagavad Gita as Madhama or Sanatana. Scroll down, Prabhu. Yeah, Sanatana Dhama or the eternal world. We have marked in the previous verse that he creates and again winds up the creation. This action is applicable in the material world only because the other greater part of his creation, namely the Vaikuntha world, is neither created nor annihilated. Otherwise, the Vaikuntha Dhama would have been called eternal, would not have been called eternal. The Lord exists with Dhama. His eternal name, quality, pastimes, entourage, and personality are all a display of his different energies and expansions. The Lord is called Anadi or having no creator, and Adi or the origin of all. We think in our own imperfect way that the Lord is also created, but the Vedanta informs us that he is not created, rather, everything else is created by him. Narayana Paro avyaktat. Therefore, for the common man, these are all very wonderful matters for consideration. Even for the great scholars, they are inconceivable, and thus such scholars present theories contradictory to one another. Even for the insignificant part of his creation, this particular universe, they have no complete information as to how far this limited space is extended, or how many stars and planets are there, or the different conditions of those innumerable planets. Modern scientists have insufficient knowledge of all this. Some of them assert that there are 100 million planets scattered all over space. In a news release from Moscow dated 21 Feb 1960, the following piece of knowledge was relayed. Russia's well-known professor of astronomy, Boris Vorontsov, said that there must be an infinite number of planets in the universe inhabited by beings endowed with reason. It could be that life similar to that on Earth flourishes on such planets. Doctor of Chemistry Nicolet Chirov, covering the problem of atmosphere on other planets, pointed out that the organism of a Martinian, for instance, could could very well adapt itself to normal existence with a low body temperature. He said that he felt that the
Prabhu, are these
Yes,
some Are these some high grade souls because they have gotten their names in the pages of Bhagavatam?
I don't know how to take this. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu,
Maybe,
same.
see, Prabhupada might have used these names to describe that they were not brilliant at all.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu, but still they are still in the Bhagavatam.
But in a negative way. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. He said that he felt that the gaseous composition of Martian atmosphere was quite suitable to sustain life of beings which have become adapted to it. This adaptability of an organism to different varieties of planets is described in the Brahma Samhita or Vibhuti Binnam. That is, each and every one of the innumerable planets within the universe is endowed with a particular type of atmosphere, and the living beings there are more perfectly advanced in science and psychology because of a better atmosphere. Vibhuti means specific powers, and the Bhinnam means variegated. Okay. Scientists who are attempting to explore outer space and are trying to reach other planets by mechanical arrangements must know for certain that organisms adapted to the atmosphere of Earth cannot exist in the atmospheres of other planets. Easy journey to other planets. One has to prepare himself, therefore, to be transferred to a different planet after being relieved of the present body, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan Pitrun, Yanti Pitru Vrata Bhutani Yanti Bhutejya Yanti Mad Yajinopi Mam. Those who worship the demigods will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings, and those who worship me will live with me. 925. Maharaj Parikshit's statement regarding the working of the creative energy of the Lord discloses that he knew everything of the process of creation. Why then did he ask Shukadeva Goswami for such information? Maharaj Parikshit, being the great emperor, a descendant of the Pandavas and a great devotee of Lord Krishna, was quite able to know considerably about the creation of the Lord, but that much knowledge was not sufficient. He said, therefore, that even greatly learned scholars fail to know about that, even after great effort. The Lord is unlimited and his activities are also unfathomed. Any living being up to the standard of Brahmaji, the highest perfect living being within the universe with a limited source of knowledge and with imperfect senses, can never imagine knowing about the unlimited. We can know something of the unlimited when it is explained by the unlimited, as it has been done by the Lord Himself in the unique statements of the Bhagavad Gita, and it can also be known to some extent from realized souls like Sukadeva Goswami, who learned from Vyasadeva, a disciple of Narada, and thus the perfect knowledge can descend by the chain of disciplic succession only and not by any form of experimental knowledge, old or modern.
Hmm. Really nice this end of the purport.
Hmm.
Okay, let's read one more verse.
Yeah,
Oh, so
text.
just the verse.
Yeah, text 9. यथा गुणांस्तु प्रकृतेर् युगपत् क्रमणोऽपि वा बिभार्ति त्वेकः kurvan karmani janmabhihi. Synonyms: yatha, as they are, gunan, the modes of, tu, but, prakrite, of the material energy, yugapat, simultaneously, kramashah, gradually, api, also, va, either, vibharti, maintains, Bhurishaha, many forms too, but Ekaha, the supreme one, Kurvan, acting, Karmani, activities, Janmabhihi, by incarnations. Translation: the supreme personality of Godhead is one, whether he alone acts with the modes of material nature or simultaneously expands in many forms or expands consecutively to direct the modes of nature. What about
Very
10th?
bold.
What is the 10th verse? Is it too long? Hmm.
Yes, but we'll continue from this tomorrow.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Okay, now we read Damodar's Canto.
నమామీశ్వరం సచ్చిదానందరూపం రసత్కుండలం గోకులే వ్రాజమానం యశోదాభియోలుకలాబ్ధవమానం పరం హృష్టమత్యంతతో ధృత్యగోప్యా
Rudantam muhurnetra yukmam rijantam karam bhojayukmena satankanetram muhusvasakam patrirekanka stita graivam damodaram bhaktipadam.
इति दृक्स्वलीलाब्धिरानन्दकुण्डे स्वघोषं निमज्ज्यान्तमाख्यापयन्तं तदीहेषिदग्नेषु भक्तेर्जितत्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सतावृत्तिवन्दे
Param deva moksham na mokshavadim va na chanyam vrineham vareshadapiha idam deva purnata gopala balam sada me manasya virastam kimanyai.
इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तैलीरैर्वृतं कुन्तलैस्निग्धरक्तैश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मनस्या विरस्ताम् अलं लक्षलाभैः
Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prashida Prabodhuka Jalabdimagnam Kripa Drishti Vrishyati Dinam Batanu Grihane Shamamagnam Edakshi Drishya.
कुबेरात्मजो बद्धमूर्त्यैव यद्वत् त्वया मोचितो भक्तिभाजौ कृतौ च तथा प्रेमभक्तिं स्वकां मे प्रयच्छ न मोक्षे ग्रहो मेऽस्ति दामोदरेह
Namaste Studamne Spuraditidamne Tvadiyodharayatha Vishvasya Damne Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tubhyam. Haribol. Damodara.
Translation. Translation. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge, and bliss, whose shark shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances.
Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with robes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbues with intimacy, and he is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodara hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the nine processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bala Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master. O my Lord, be pleased upon me by showering your glance of mercy upon me. Deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes.
O Lord Damodara, just as the two sons of Kuvera, Manigriva, and Nalakuvara were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees of by you in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation.
O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliant effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes. Haribo Damodarashtakam ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Pranjal Prabhu Danda Pram Jai Shri Prabhupada. चेतोदर्पणमर्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः करवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं भूतिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नानामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस् तत्रार्पिता नियमिता नियमिता स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवम् ईदृशम् इजा इहाजनि नानुरागः
तदपि सुनीचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानिनामानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरिः
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
नन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां शमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजा स्थितधूले सदृशं विचिन्तया
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गद हृदया गिरा पुलके निशितं वपुः कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
कायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्राविर्ष्यायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनस्तु माम् अदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु तं पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Haribo. Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling of separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly in his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
हरि बोल श्री शिक्षाष्टकम की जय बहुजन्म करे आदि श्रवण कीर्तन तपुतान पाय Krishna pade premadan. If one is infested with the 10 offenses in the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, despite his endeavor to chant the holy name for many births, he will not get the love of God. That is the ultimate goal of this chanting. The 10 offenses against the holy name are as follows. The first offense is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second offense is to consider the names of demigods, Lord Shiva or Brahma, to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master or consider him as an ordinary person.
Fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literature or literature in pursuance of the Vedic version.
Fifth offense is to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination.
Sixth offense is to give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name of the Lord.
Eighth offense is to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities karma kanda.
Ninth offense is to instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name.
Tenth offense is not to have complete faith in the chanting of the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema.
Let us offer humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like these are trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vancha
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
अनंत गोते वैष्णव की जय,
जय
की जय, गौरव प्रेमानंदे, हरि
हरे
हरि बोल. Thank you so much, Praveen.